Thank you. I told Doug I was going to get in the chair before him, but I'm so glad I got in after. It really heightened my questions. I travel a lot. I live part-time in San Diego, part-time in Sedona, and a third of the time on the road. And my businesses, I love business the way Doug loves baseball. They're in San Diego. And when I'm traveling, I see exactly what I want to create with them. They're doing really, really well. Things are good. But where I want them to go is further along than where exponentially. We sell maybe 20 million stickers a year, and I want to sell like hundreds of millions of stickers a year. And I see exactly the way to do it, but then when I get back into the company, it's really tough. It's just tough. It throws me out of alignment because I don't know.
Then spend more time away. Well, we mean that. Okay. Because if being in your business stifles your ability to align with your vision,
right.
You want to do everything in your power to put yourself in the position where your vision is alive and well. So is that a practical consideration?
Well, I mean, I already am gone for 2/3 of the time. And so what'll happen is, like, I'll be in Sedona. I was just in Sedona for 6 weeks, and I kept thinking, I want to go back because I want to do this, and I'm inspired to go back to, find a new chief operations officer or implement a certain piece of technology or buy new presses or whatever it is. And then I get back into town, and I'm like, oh shit, but I don't know who to hire. And
so what you're saying is, what you're observing is killing your dream.
Yeah.
It's sort of what we were talking about earlier. How can I keep my vision of what I want active when the reality is showing me something different? How can I de-emphasize my observation while I emphasize my imagination? Isn't that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
And isn't it about focus? So one of two ways: you either utilize your imagination more or be a better selective sifter. We were visiting with our friend just now, talking about her relationship. It all made perfect sense. And when she tried to focus, she got right there. So can you put yourself in your business and focus upon some aspect of it that is right as you want it to be, and use that as your bouncing off place?
Yes. I can. We have the highest quality product on the market, period. We have the best technology of anybody. And it's beautiful. And when people get their stickers from us, it's a different experience because they're so, so, so nice. Like, it seems like there couldn't be that much variance in it, but there can. And it's really lovely.
All right. So now tell us how that rampage that was authentic and accurate and a high flying vibration, how does it jive with what you were talking about earlier about? In other words,
yeah.
You talked about wanting a new CEO.
CCO. Uh-huh.
So how can you jump from what you just gave us into that?
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't anybody want to be here? And wouldn't it be fun for someone to get to step into something like this? And aren't there people all over the planet that are looking for exactly this? And isn't law of attraction going to easily bring that together? And it's not anything that I have to manage. It's just something that I know that I desire. And isn't it a logical thing that it's in the process of unfolding? And would I want to select someone who isn't a good match, or would I want to wait for the match that is the right match? And does that match need to be made right now? Or are things just fine right now? And are good things worth waiting for? And does it matter? Those kinds of things. Doesn't that soothe that?
Yeah, it does.
So then you're there and you're soothed, and so then off you go.
Okay.
Everything is about focus, but you understand the focus that you've accomplished by the feeling that it causes. Yeah. And so it could be, and this is true for a lot of you, it could be, and this is what our friend and your friend was talking about earlier, that sometimes you just want to get into the trenches and live something that is real.
Yeah.
And so maybe what we're talking about here is the refinement and the satisfaction of being faced with something that you can feel is off and setting it right through visualization in the moment. What about that?
Yeah.
Do you have to distance yourself from it? To make it easy, do you have to separate yourself from everything that is? Or do you have the ability to be in your family, be with your children, be with your mate, be in your business, be with your employees, be with what is, and still focus yourself in a way for their and your highest good. It's all about focus, isn't it?
It is.
Which translates into the processes that we have offered, a list of positive aspects.
Okay.
That's the fastest way to get there. Just focus upon the list of positive aspects. Do you find, this is a really provocative question, and we think speaks right to the point that you're reaching for here. So if there are all kinds of things that are going well, and something that isn't, what is it? Esther said, she was laughing about it during the segment of refreshment. Everything going perfectly well. What is it that draws your attention to the thing that isn't? What is it about the thing that isn't just exactly right that seems to draw your attention? So now think about it. First of all, we want to proclaim that not as a bad thing. We want to call it a question for which you are looking for an answer, or a problem for which you are looking for a solution. And isn't that the stuff that life is made of?
Yeah.
So don't you want to be hands-on in your life and in your business and in your relationships? And isn't it fun when things stir you to your awareness that you could be doing a better job of focusing? You see, because the tendency is to think that this conversation is a debate about action or non-action, when it isn't at all. It's a debate about focus or non-focus. It's a conversation about, can I feel the direction of the thought that I'm thinking? And if the thought that I'm thinking is off, do I have the power to change it? And probably the most important question in that run of questions is, and how fast am I going to change it? How long am I going to experience the vibration that's out of whack before I get back into alignment? Good. It's fun, isn't it?
It is.
Is business fun? You said it is.
Yes.
You said it is. What's fun about it?
I like to have a product that I have several different companies, and to get the image of something in my mind, like I'll be on a road trip and I'll think, oh my God, I should start a food company based towards yoga studios. And then to see it on the shelves when I go into yoga studios is incredible. So I like to get the idea of a product and then see it manifested in reality.
And
it's
what
cool.
about, and this is the part that we really want to ask you about, because we know a lot of people feel that way.
Yeah.
They love to have an idea and they love to get to the end result of it. But what about the time in the middle? Is that part fun?
Yes, it is.
But you didn't say it was. You didn't even mention it at all. You jumped right over that and went right to the end result. And that's where the juice of life is, you see. That's where, yeah, I get to meet this person and I get to discover that that person's not right for that, but they're better over there. And that led to this and that led to this. In other words, it's that in-between time that you're wanting to revel in. Because we just have to say, your life is made up of mostly that in-between time. Mostly, it's the time between the giving birth to the desire and the manifestation of it. Is that in-between time.
Yeah, it is. I have a question, another question about focus. I'm in a lot of groups. I'm in like the top of the elite business groups, and on the inside of those groups. But I always, for some reason, my whole life feel like I'm like an outsider, and I know that that's about my focus. But what would be the best way to really just feel okay with exactly where I am instead of feeling distanced?
Well, it's the same conversation that we were having earlier. It's about the self-talk. It's about the talk that you practice about yourself. Because one of the most interesting things about being involved in groups, and we're not saying that this is the case with you, but it usually is with most people. There is a dynamic about a group that feels good because there's more energy moving, more synergy, certainly more opportunity to co-create. There's just more energy going around it. So it feels good to be with like-minded people. When you are part of a group and you have a keen interest in the way the group is perceiving you, which is sort of what most groups do. It's what can I give to the group and what can the group give to me? Right. That's a pretty strong component in why people gather together in groups. Right. Most people gather together in groups because they don't feel individually powerful. And we're not saying that that's the case at all. Right. But we would like you to consider that if the gathering together in the group is the grid filling in, because there are more components of satisfying the things that you want in that group, then the group's doing its job. You've done your job vibrationally.
Yeah.
But the most significant thing is you're not looking for approval from the group.
Right.
And so you have to accept, and this is going to sound maybe a little odd, but it is so accurate. And it's the answer that you're looking for.
Okay.
You got to call it your group.
Okay.
This is the group that even if it existed before you joined it, your joining it makes it yours.
Okay.
Because you are the creator of your participation in this group as it now is.
Okay.
So sort of claim ownership of that group. I'm in the center of it, even if they got there first. I'm in the center of the way that group is responding to me. I am the creator of me in this group. Therefore, I am the creator of this group. And since I am, then I can control the way this group responds to me. I can control the benefit that I derive from this group, and I can control the contribution that I make to this group, because I am the creator of this group.
Okay.
Esther walked into Mark's office the other day, and there was a physical contraption sitting on his desk that was a board of little LED lights. And she was so happy to see it, because she had heard us in past years talking about a light board. And she had always sort of envisioned what we were talking about of looking just like that. Hundreds of little lights on this board. And we always explained, as we were demonstrating this board visually, is that you represent one of the lights on that board. And what you're thinking, and therefore how you're feeling, causes your light to light up. And in that moment, every other light on the board that is a vibrational match to where you are lights up, and that represents your world. That represents who you have access to, what you have access to, and every unlighted light is irrelevant. But often when people come together in groups, even though everybody's not lighting up to you, for a variety of reasons, not because you're inappropriate at all, but you're just vibrationally different on one subject or the other. So many people want to make everybody in the group light up. And if you could just give that up, if you could just give up the concept that everybody's always going to be first awake at the same time that you are, or alert at the same time that you are, or interested in the same things that you are. It is fun to be part of a group where there is synergy, but it is a flawed premise to think that they're all going to light up when you do. And when you only have your attention upon your lighting up, in other words, just the fact that you're lighted and in sync with who you are, that's the only thing you have to ever give your concentration to, and everything else will take care of itself.
Thank you.
So there are lots of group dynamics within groups, because it's a vibrational thing. It's not just a physically putting yourself in the physical proximity with others, and it's not an action thing, and it's not a subject thing. In other words, you could join a group relative to a subject, but how they're lighting up relative to that subject has far more to do than anything that you know, and you can't control it. All you can do is manage your own vibration and trust that law of attraction will light the others up, and then that's the world that you live in. Do you like the analogy?
Yeah.
It's a really good one. So think of your neighborhood. There are all kinds of people in your neighborhood who you're not inviting over for cocktails.
Yeah.
And yet you live happily ever after in these neighborhoods, even though you're not resonating on your highest levels, or on, in some cases, on any levels with everyone who's in the neighborhood. And now picture the world at large. Picture all of these talented people that are running around. All you've got to do is light your board up relative to anything that is important to you, and all of those people who are what you are looking for show themselves to you. And you see them, you look around, they're lighted up, you see them, you hear them, they come right to you. It's easy, it's so easy. It's so easy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I have one really quick thing. You and I have had several conversations over the years, and you know me really well. What's the best advice that you have for me next?
We have forgotten everything that we've ever known. And we know you in this moment.
Okay.
And what we experienced just now was a sincere question with willingness to hear and movement within you on that point. And that's what we live for, because we live in the moment, because we don't care where you've been, and we don't care where you're going. We only care about the resonance between you and us now.